We're starting off with this second section that is health promotion in schools and work sites. Health promotion in schools and work sites. And this is the second section from the unit health promotion, which is the last unit from the component health psychology. Now, when we speak about promoting health in schools or at work sites, there are two bullets we see over here. The first one over here is about the promotion of healthy habits, healthy eating habits through a school. Now, the question that rises over here is why is it that schools are chosen for any sort of health promotional campaign? Because schools have young children. Schools help shape lifelong habits. Now, what sort of lifelong habits am I talking about over here? Healthy eating is one of them. This is what we'd be discussing today. Schools would change your lifelong or would shape your lifelong habit. Or let's just say if you develop a habit of working out or doing exercise. And additionally, we could also promote health through schools via mental health awareness programs. So schools primarily because the children who go to school, they're young, and this is the age when you can help them shape their healthy habits for the life ahead. Number two, why work sites? Work sites with a focus on health and safety. And work sites because work sites would help you with working without stress. Work sites or workplaces could be stressful. It would enhance or improve productivity. And overall, it would help the participant or the employees, it would help the employee with his or her overall well being. But in this bullet, we have this study. So we have two bullets over here, and both of these bullets, they have two studies. The first bullet over here would, while covering the first bullet, we discussed the study that was conducted by Tapper et al. And in the second bullet, we would be covering the study that was conducted by Fox et al. So today we would be in this lesson in particular, we'd be discussing the study that was conducted by Tapper et al. And this study is about the way schools can focus on healthy eating habits. Now, to begin with, health promotion in schools and work sites. Schools with a focus on healthy eating. Healthy eating is really important. We all know this. It's a really important aspect of health in general, but it reduces the risk of so many health conditions. Healthy eating can reduce the chances of an individual developing diabetes, heart diseases, and even cancer. It is important to start eating healthy from a young age so that the behavior is integrated into people's lives. So, like I said, this can help you shape lifelong habits. So, it is important to start healthy eating habits from a young age so that the behavior is integrated into people's lives and will hopefully continue into adulthood. We have this reference study over here by Smith et al. In 1995, and this study found that one of the strongest predictors of adults eating fruit and vegetables is the extent to which they ate them during childhood. So, this study again adds on to the idea that promoting healthy eating while at school can have a long lasting beneficial impact on our newer generations. So, schools are one of the best places to promote healthy eating as it can be a part of their educational program. That's a very good point, as well as part of the normal school life, such as offering healthy school dinners and having guidances on healthy lunch boxes. So, this could be seen as another advantage as to why schools are focused when it comes to promoting health. Now, quickly moving on to the study that was conducted by Tapper et al. Now, this is an example study, and I personally think this book that we have in front of us, this has a lot more information than it should have, but then again, for now, it is what it is. So if we speak about the aim of this particular study, Tapper et al. In the year 2003, they tried examining ways to encourage children. They tried examining ways to encourage children to eat more fruits and vegetables, focusing on taste exposure, peer modeling, and rewards. So we're talking about this study where Tapper et al. They tried encouraging children. What sort of encouragement are we talking about? So we're talking about encouraging children encouraging children towards eating more fruits and vegetables. And while doing this, the focus remained on ideas such as taste exposure, peer modeling, and rewards. So this was the aim of the study. Tapper et al. Examined or investigated or tried different ways to encourage children to eat more fruits and vegetables while focusing on taste exposure, peer modeling, and rewards. Taking this ahead, Tapper et al. In the year 2003 reports some of the key findings of the survey by the UK Department of Health from 2000. So, there was a survey by the UK Department of Health conducted in 2000, and this survey found that 4 to 6 year olds eat an average of only two portions of fruit and vegetable per day, and less than 4% eat the recommended five or more portions per day. So, finding from the UK Department of Health, this finding from 2000, in the year 2000, it showed that 4 to 6 year olds, we're talking about young kids, right? 4 to 6 year olds on an average eat only two portions of fruit and vegetables per day. And that makes it less than 4% of fruits and vegetables than the recommended five or more portions per day. Previous attempts at encouraging children to eat more fruits and vegetables have involved health education campaigns. So, not that this is the first time it was being done. So, there have been previously, there have been certain initiatives taken by the government as well, where the children and the parents are informed what they should be eating with the hope that they will follow this advice. However, evidence shows that this has very limited success. So, through this study by Contento et al., we find out that there have been researches that have been conducted on, or there have been campaigns that have been initiated to promote healthy eating, but they haven't really worked out well. One. Number two, the Bangor Food Research Unit BFRU has attempted to take a different approach using three main techniques to try to change children's eating habits. The first one being taste exposure, the second one is modeling, and the third one is rewards. The first one being taste exposure, the second one is modeling, and the third one is rewards. And these are the three techniques that I'd mentioned right at the top, where I had written down the aim to help you understand it better. So, taste exposure, as the name suggests, what exactly is taste exposure here? The more you taste a new food, the more likely you are to like it. Now, I'm sure you've seen little kids, younger kids showing reluctance towards trying out new food. So, this idea of taste exposure, finding out ways that kids show, or young children, they show readiness towards tasting new food. So the more you taste a new food, the more likely you are to like it. There are probably examples of things you didn't like to eat as a child, but you now enjoy. You probably didn't like to eat them as a child because you never tried them. So encouraging a child to keep trying new food may result in them learning to like it. The first technique that we spoke about over here is taste exposure. And I believe the word taste exposure in itself explains it pretty much all. Number two, modeling. And I'm sure you all do remember modeling. Let me remind you, you studied modeling in detail when in AS, when you were preparing for the study by Bandura, Ross and Ross. And additionally, you had come across a model while studying the research by Pilyavin et al. So when we speak about modeling, there are certain factors that make modeling where a child observes and imitates a behavior more likely. A child is more likely to imitate someone that they like or admire. Now, this is an important piece of information that we'd like picking on from here. A child is more likely to imitate someone that they like or admire that is the same age or slightly older, and that has their behavior rewarded. So, children imitate more people. The children imitate behavior that they see people performing whom they like or admire. One. Number two, either they would be the same age or slightly older. And number three, if there's a reward that is associated to it. So let me just mark this as 1, 2, and 3. Observing more than one model is also shown to be more effective than observing just one model. So if you're observing more than one model, it has been seen that it has more or beneficial effects as compared to observing uh, just one model. So observing more than one model is also shown to be more effective than observing just one model. Research shows that modeling affects a child's research shows that modeling affects a child's food preference and eating patterns. So again, a research by Birch in the year 1980. Number three, we speak about rewards. Now, see, this is an example study, and look at the amount of detail that the book has. It is good to know all of this because knowing all of this would help us understand the study better, but then we need to be a little too smart figuring out what all needs to be learned and what all needs to be just understood. So, rewards. There is mixed evidence for the role of rewards. Much research shows that rewards can encourage particular behavior. For instance, the research by Cameron et al. So there has been some research that shows that rewards can encourage particular type of behavior. But other research suggests that rewarding behavior reduces the intrinsic motivation for the behavior. Reduces the intrinsic motivation for the behavior. So we have researches in support of the idea of children being rewarded, and we have research against the idea of children being rewarded as well. Now, if I may give you an example over here, oh, there's an amazing example that is there. So yeah, rewards are most effective when they're highly desirable, achievable, a consequence of performing, and when it is clear that they're for behavior that is enjoyable and high status. Example, a certificate for hardship. This factor can be confusing when it comes to food because if you tell a child that they can only have an ice cream or pudding if they eat their vegetable, this is suggesting to the child that pudding is better than vegetable and that vegetables are bad. Like this says, this reduces the intrinsic motivation. I mean, if you tell a child that I've seen many parents tell their children, come on, quickly eat, finish up your food, and then there's ice cream waiting for you in the freezer. So if you're asking a child to finish food, you're in other words telling a child, or you in other words implying that the food that you're asking the child to finish right now isn't all that good. And once the child goes through this test of finishing food, the child would be rewarded. So that shouldn't be the purpose. The purpose should be to improve intrinsic motivation. So pudding is better than vegetable and that vegetables are bad. In this situation, children may also feel that their behavior is being managed, that they may eat the vegetable this time, but they will be unlikely to repeat the behavior in the absence of pudding, which again is something that you as a parent would not want. Now, so far, we have studied the aim of the study and we've studied the three main techniques that were the three main techniques that could be used to change a child's eating habit, that are taste exposure, modeling, and rewards. Taking this ahead, this study was carried out at home with 5 to 6 year old fussy eaters. So where was this study conducted? This study was conducted at home with 5 to 6 old fussy eaters. You all know what fussy eaters are, who fussy eaters are. Probably you've been one when young as well. Your parents would be able to verify that better. Now, who rarely ate fruit and vegetables. 4 different procedures were used here. First for fruits and then for vegetables. Presentation only. So we're talking about different procedures being used, and these procedures were first used for fruit and then for vegetables. The first procedure over here is presentation only. The second one is rewarded taste exposure. The third one is peer modeling, and the fourth one is rewarded taste exposure combined with peer modeling. Understand this. We're talking about 4 different procedures being used. The first one was presentation only. The second one was rewarded taste exposure. The third one was peer modeling, and the fourth one was rewarded taste exposure combined with peer modeling. So peer modeling involved a video of, you need to know this as well, Peer modeling involved a video of some slightly older children, the food dudes, who gain superpowers from eating fruit and vegetables and battle against the junk punks who want to destroy all fruits and vegetables and take over the planet. So we are introducing the food dudes over here. Who are these food dudes? These food dudes, these young kids. When you talk about this peer modeling program, this peer modeling program involved a video. These kids were shown a video of slightly older children, a video of slightly older children who were referred to as the food dudes. And these children, they could gain superpower from eating fruits and vegetables, and they'd be strong enough to be able to battle against the junk punks. And these junk punks wanted to destroy all fruit and vegetables and eventually take over the planet. Now, the rewards aspect involved, this was the peer modeling aspect, right? This was the peer modeling aspect. Moving on towards the reward part. The reward aspect involved items such as the reward aspect involved items such as food dude stickers and pens for eating target amount of fruit and vegetables. Results showed that the combination of peer modeling and rewards was very effective at increasing children's consumption of fruit and vegetables. One, there's peer modeling being done. Number two, there are rewards that have been associated to this. Remember, we're talking about this part. Let me just highlight this one. So the fourth different type of procedure was rewarded taste exposure combined with peer modeling. So this is what we're talking about over here. Taking this ahead, results showed that the combination of peer modeling and rewards was very effective at increasing children's consumption of fruit and vegetable. Initially, children ate on average only 4% of the fruit and 1% of vegetables presented to them at home by their parents. Following the modeling program, the rewards this increased to 100%. Look at this amount of increase. Now, like we say, from 1% straight to 100%. So this was a significant improvement in the eating habits of children. Taking this ahead, following the modeling and rewards, this increased to 100% of fruit and 83% of vegetables. 6 months later, even though the rewards and modeling had stopped, children were still eating 100% of fruit presented to them and 83% of vegetables, and were also trying out other fruits and vegetables. So what we understand from here is not only did this not only did these different techniques have an immediate effect, but even when results or even after follow-up after 6 months, it was seen that the rewards and modeling, even when the rewards and modeling had stopped, I repeat, even when the rewards and modeling had stopped, children were still eating 100% of fruit presented to them and 83% of vegetables, and were also trying out fruits and vegetables. In contrast, the presentation of fruit and vegetables alone had no effect on consumption, and peer modeling without reward had minimal effect. So there was some positive effects with rewards only, especially with fruits, but there were nowhere near the levels achieved when combined with peer modeling. So what's going to match this? I'm sure nothing at all. This is amazing, amazing. Now, taking this further from here, the real test of the effectiveness of the program was to see if it had the real test of the effectiveness of the program was to see if it could have a significant impact on the consumption of large groups of children. So the researchers set up a program to be trialed at nursery. So now that we see things have worked at home, the researchers wanted to trial it out at a nursery, right? Taking this ahead, in this study, there were rewards and video modeling using two cartoon characters tailored to the age of nursery children, that is, aged 2 to 4 years. The intervention was introduced at mid-morning snacks time, first with fruit and then with vegetables. Level of fruit and vegetables consumed during lunch times were also recorded to see if any effect of the intervention was seen at the lunchtime as well. So the intervention was introduced at mid-morning snacks time, first with fruit and then with vegetables. So all of this was done mid-morning, during the mid-morning snack time, first through fruits and then through vegetables. Levels of fruit and vegetables consumed during lunchtime were also recorded. So what sort of effect has it had on the uh, fruit and vegetable consumption of children? Level of fruit and vegetables consumed during lunch times were also recorded to see if any effect of their intervention was seen at the lunchtime. Now, I hope you've understood this. See, this is super simple, but this has a lot of information. Taking this ahead, the results showed that following the intervention, fruit consumption increased from 30% to 71%, and this again is a significant amount of increase. This followed a maintenance phase where there was no video and the rewards were intermittent. At a 15-month follow-up, consumption levels were at 79%, with lunchtime consumption also increasing from 17% baseline to 79% at the follow-up, which again looks like looks like it has made quite a difference here. At the follow-up, consumption of vegetables rose from 34% to 87% at the snack time after the intervention, and at a 9-month follow-up, it remained at 86%. 3 years later, so now we're trying to figure out the long-term impact. 3 years later, with very intermittent maintenance procedures, the children at the nursery consumed an average of 80% of the fruit and vegetables presented to them at snack time and lunchtime. So 3 years later has to be kept in mind. With very intermittent maintenance procedures, the children at the nursery consumed an average of 80% of fruits and vegetables presented to them at the snack time. So this is again, or this again looks like it was super useful. The intervention program was then expanded to schools where fruits and vegetables were offered alongside other snacks such as crisps and chocolate. Results showed that even when faced with the choice of other snacks, fruit consumption was more than doubled. That is from 28% to 59%, and vegetable consumption increased from 8% to 32% at the 6-month follow up. There was a subset of children who took part in a home based study at the same time, and similarly, positive results were found with these children at home as well. So, a whole school program was designed to target children from age 4 to 11 years old, including a food dude video, food dude rewards, and a home pack and letters from the food dude. So a package or a whole program was launched that included a food dude video, food dude rewards, and a home pack and letters from the food dudes, as well as information for staff on how to run the intervention. Now, do you see how psychology is being applied to real life situations, and how researches of this sort can actually help in bring in a change at a community level as well? So the main intervention phase lasted 16 days, followed by a maintenance phase where there was no video and the letters and rewards became intermittent. The intervention was initially carried out in 3 schools, and results showed that there were large statistically significant increases in fruits and vegetable consumptions across all schools. So this intervention was initially carried out in 3 schools, and the results showed that there was a significant increase in fruits and vegetable consumption across all schools, all age groups, and in both boys and girls. A subset of parents also reported an increase in fruit and vegetable consumption at home. Now, let's summarize this entire thing. The researchers summarized the 3 main reasons why they think the intervention worked. So, if you talk about the summary here, as to what the researchers found out to be the reason as to why this intervention program did work. So to begin with, the intervention gets children to try fruit and vegetables repeatedly, which leads to them eventually liking it. Once they try, they eventually like it for the taste and choosing to eat them even when there are no longer rewards. One. Number two, now the intervention changes the culture within the school, so the consumption of fruits and vegetables becomes socially reinforced by their peers. This again point makes a lot of sense. Number three, The children come to see themselves as fruit and vegetable eaters. They come to see themselves as fruit and vegetable eaters. So they're guided by this self concept. They see a piece of fruit and think to themselves, I always eat my fruit, and this guides their behavior. So this was a summary what the researchers felt were the main reasons as to why this intervention program actually did work out. So the United Kingdom Food Standards Agency and Department of Health commissioned the program or modified versions of the program to be rolled out to hundreds of schools across the UK. So this study that was initially conducted by Tapper et al. In the year 2003 actually turned out to be super beneficial. Now I hope you have understood this study. I would want you all to have a look at this. I mean, this is, of course, a summary of the summarized version, but I think this is still good enough. This would help you write your 6 mark question, write an answer to your 6 mark question well. So you need to, I know there's a lot of information that is there. You'll expected to read through the study twice at least and then learn this. And I think you're good to go. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you.